Could this be the image that revitalises the royal family? It's the moment people first saw Prince Harry officially with his girlfriend Meghan Markle, a heavily choreographed... So who is the showgirl who's met her handsome prince? We'll be speaking to Meghan Markle's friends.
Meghan Markle is a smart girl. She knows what she wants, and she gets it.
You kind of understand about royal protocol and royal etiquette and the things that you do and you don't do.
And what will this union do for the royal family and its image in Britain and around the world?
We are not used to having somebody with such prominence in
legal drama, Suits, where Meghan has attracted lots of attention with her sassy portrayal of a young working woman.
Mike Ross? Hi. I'm Rachel Zane. I'll be giving you your orientation.
Her father, Thomas, was a television lighting director, and her mother, Doria, a therapist and yoga instructor. Her father already had 2 children from his previous marriage, Meghan's half-brother, Thomas Jr., and half-sister.
Little family, not as large as the Brady Bunch, but, you know, in our minds it was a unique, very beautiful, multicultural and interracial family beginning. With regards to...
But while Harry was entangled in his parents' messy and public separation, Meghan had a very different experience.
I don't think Meghan ever really noticed that there were 2 households. I don't think...
This clip shows that she could poke fun at her unusual childhood.
On the set of Married with Children every day after school for 10 years. I was there.
Wow!
I know. It's a very perverse place for a little girl who went to Catholic school, no less, to grow up.
Although royalty has always had a thing about actors.
Virtually every 18th and early 19th century prince of Britain had at least an affair and usually a marriage with an actress.
Things that she did. So we could tell Meghan early on was just a handful of characters busting to get out.
Meghan didn't take the obvious route straight into the movies. Meanwhile, Meghan's future boyfriend had joined the army after leaving school with 2 A-levels.
Nothing was happening for the first few days that I was here, but things are picking up again now.
Harry completed 2 tours of duty in Afghanistan.
Again, it was such a great moment in our lives, and it's a stepping stone into our careers.
One of Meghan Markle's first big roles came in 2011 in the TV...
Meghan and I were meeting for a glass of wine, and she told me that she booked this pilot that she had auditioned for, and it was really soon after Random Encounters, and it was like, that is so crazy. Meghan, she's not one of these people that like dwells on... I was destroyed, and Meghan was really... It was great to feel empowered.
In Yorkville, which is a more posh neighborhood in Toronto, restaurants like Toroni, which is a very popular Italian restaurant.
In Toronto, Meghan started writing about her life. She created a blog which has all the...
On all levels, I think. It doesn't matter if you're in a fine dining restaurant or you're eating out of a shack somewhere. Food brings people together, and I think Meghan's just a real, an amazing people's person.
The TIG was... Meghan also used social media to publish glossy photos of her life.
She also has an Instagram account full also of some of her catchphrases and philosophies in life. So here's
Terry.
And how did they manage to keep their relationship hidden for so long? Major cities. And Meghan is a member in London, Toronto and LA.
What's great about places like Soho House is that they are members club, and if you are part of that establishment, it means that you can't be seen.
When she first met Harry, Meghan had just made a trip to Rwanda, campaigning for clean water with the charity World Vision. The year before, she had given a speech at a UN Women's Conference.
I am honored.
The new scene with quite a bang.
We're here with Camilla now. You broke the story.
How accurate are your sources?
Well, let's put it this way, Kensington Palace hasn't denied it, and I think since the story broke on Sunday morning, all of the evidence has...
Contrary to media stories, Meghan was very classy. She was sort of prim and proper even when she was a child.
Can you get that over the shoulder, please?
One fact that was...
Nobody could possibly claim that the behaviour of her children makes them an example of family virtue. So insofar as the royal family is a symbol, it's not the symbol of British virtue. It's a symbol of the fact that
There's no tape, no recording, nothing in the world that anybody could present to suggest that it was. The tabloids really milked that for all it's worth. So it created a divide.
It was pursued relentlessly when she married then the Duke of York, who later became George VI. It's all relative to the time. Go back to Harry's father, Prince Charles. There were young ladies who tried to fling their arms around him. There's a very famous one.
Bad old days of Charles and Diana, where royal correspondents, couldn't quite believe what they were getting because you had households briefing against each other.
They were actually airing their dirty washing in public. William and Harry probably...
Both fizzled out. Both women were said to be unable to cope with intense media intrusion. In 2014, shortly after Harry's split from Cressida, Kensington Palace invited in a salute.
There's been a concerted effort on Harry's part and Meghan's part to protect that relationship as much as possible. I think they've tried to be quite low-key. You haven't seen them together, going out and about to...
In the interview, she called Harry her boyfriend and said they were really happy and in love.
It was a very clear statement of intent, I think, about the relationship, and it was done 100% with Harry's approval.
But the Vanity Fair...
Nations.
Prince Harry is in town for the Invictus Games, the sporting event he created for disabled soldiers and veterans.
The Prince himself watched the training in Toronto this afternoon before the opening ceremony.
The disappointment didn't last for long.
It was the public outing that every dedicated royal watcher has been waiting for.
2 days later, the press got the big photo they all wanted. Harry and Meghan arrived together.
The speculation about one. I'll leave you with just one final point. It's not my area of expertise, but the shirt she was wearing tonight, I am told by others, was a style called the husband shirt. And you can make of that what you will.
Harry and Meghan seem to be living their courtship in a much more modern way. At the end of the Invictus Games, Harry was spotted in a private box with Meghan Markle and her mother Doria.
Outside a lot, very robust, quite hearty, perhaps the perfect mixture of the aristocracy of Diana with the heartiness of Fergie.
Diana was born into an aristocratic family. Grant Harold was butler to Prince Charles, William and Harry, and now teaches royal etiquette at a castle in Gloucestershire.
When I joined the royal household, it's a huge learning experience.
Meghan, if she is going to be photographed a lot sitting on a stage, will possibly adopt, when wearing a skirt, the Duchess slant, which is when you slightly angle your legs rather than crossing your legs.
With her future in-laws.
If you know what the acceptable fork to use is at a state banquet, and you know that everybody else is going to use that fork at that course, then it means you can relax and think about
the distasteful. These usually have been undertones in press commentary. The one thing I think that could never be ever said about the British royal family is that it is in any way racist. Go back to
because in a way, the whole concept of the royal family is about racial purity. Even the terms that we use to talk about the royal family, blue blood, comes from sangre azul, which refers to the fact that the royal...
In it, you can hear his fury in it.
This is not a game, it is her life and his.
Prince Harry's statement took many people by surprise. It was remarkable to hear the royal family accuse the press of racism. Announcement. And what kind of wedding might they have? Buckingham Palace. Harry has always been happy to break with royal conventions, and now he seems determined not to let those conventions affect his love life.
I have to say, I am someone who's never been very interested in the royals, personally. Now,
in Hollywood, in Toronto, in New York, is an independent figure in society in her own right. They seem to me to be rather an evidently good match.
And if the royals have focused on less fashionable causes, then so has Meghan Markle. She has been to Rwanda, Afghanistan, and earlier this year, India, to highlight the stigma surrounding menstruation for poverty-stricken. Meghan are clearly linked by charity. And signals are getting stronger that they are about to form a royal unit to take on these causes together. On the 12th of October, Meghan reportedly made her first
social media channels, and also to see the way they are together, and her mother was there with her in the box for the Invictus Games. Just feels like it's the right time.
So if engagement is around the corner, when might they...
Royal bride has been. Heaven knows what their tastes will be. I'm not even sure what kind of group of people will assemble at the wedding. In that sense, it will be a one-off.
Close the curtains, hide. It's just so silly, and we're so normal, and yes, if were there a wedding, I would love to go, but we have no idea what's going to happen.
It moves the monarchy forward and edges the royals one step closer to the people. 1 in 10 British couples are from different ethnic backgrounds.
If we are to have a royal family that's meaningful and relevant, that
make it home in one piece, and the christening is finally here. The Real Housewives of Cheshire over on ITVB now.